Rohit Karamkar. I am here again. I hope you guys are doing very well. In my first video, I am explaining about how to install VS Code, how to install Python in VS Code, and executed some program. I taught you some how to execute some programs, how to write programs in Python, and now I am going to explain some other details of Python first. Then I am going to show you some other codes like how we gonna do other things in Python. Now I am going to show you some other stuffs like how what is Python interpreter and how can we explain to the computer what to do and what not to do. Like now let's begin. Currently, Python is a most popular language in this market, and deep dive now Python latest version is 3.11, the stable version, and I am going to say you like Python is an interpreter. In my previous video, I also said that Python is an interpreter, and now I am saying that Python is an interpreter, but it is a high level language. Like we are talking in English and other languages. Some other languages are we are using daily lives for speaking, for communicating to each other. But in computer, we cannot do like this. So what can I do? What we do communicate with the computer. So now the programmers or the programmers and developers are dealing with some other languages like Python, C++, Java, Node.js, some other languages, JavaScripts, etc. These are the languages that can easily encoded and decoded by the CPU. Like they can CPU can actually do anything with this type of commands. Like in my previous video, I'm explaining how to assign a variable, printing some variable values, and printing some string like words, etc. In this days, the Python programming is most popular, I said already. Here, some universities and some marketing fields are also doing with this Python program. So don't waste the time. Let's start some other languages, and I'm going to create another file like second.py. If you are new to this video, watch my first video, what is .py. I'm again going to explain you in this video. .py is the extension of a Python. Just it. I am going to in this second file to take some user input and display it into a terminal and doing some mathematical calculations with this second file. Now I am assigning a value some like into a variable. You can take any type of variable name, but yeah, you cannot take value variable like this. You cannot put a variable name like numbers first, then some string, then some other characters. You are only eligible for using underscore or some other like things. But I recommend you to not try to assign a value some other with some other notations. Just usually do like this type of things. And now I'm going to take another user input with the same variable. and I am going to write like this. This is an input keyword for Python. In this keyword, is taken from the keyboard or any type of network or any type of other things. Now I am going to display it into a terminal with the help of print. Now I am printing a value of am variable. Am is a variable that can assign a value with user input values. Now I am going to save it, Control plus S. Then I am going to run it again. Now here it's showing something like this. In this terminal, it's showing something like this. Some values are box like this. And now I am going to put some value 48, and now here it is again. Print is displaying a value of variable am what user is given to this, and now it's done. User input is done. But this is the most beautiful thing in Python, that print statement is displaying some value into a terminal by using Python interpreter. And operator is another thing for Python that can do like mathematical things like adding, subtracting, multiplication, division, modulo, etc. More things Python can do. And values are like strings, integers, float, and any other type of things that can assign into a variable. This is called variable, and user input is also called values. There are so many types of values, that is integer type, string type, float type, many other types are there in Python. You can firstly doing mathematical things with this. In my first video I done it like this, how mathematical values are working with this. And now I'm going to show you how user inputs are working with mathematical values. And I'm going to show you, I'm assigning some value into some other variable. Then I'm going to add it. Means am is a variable that can store user input, and st is a variable that can assign by ourselves, and I'm going to add it with and assigning it into a some variable. Can this work? Let's check it. I am thinking that this is not working. Why? Let's check it. Asking The terminal is asking for user input, and I'm going to give it. And in line number 3 is properly working. Line number 4 is totally working. But in case of line number 5 gives error. Why? Because there is a one thing. What is one thing? Input is a main reason, because input by Python, this is taken as a string. That's why value of am is storing some input by a string, and you cannot add string values into a mathematical calculation. You can do as string. You can do as a string, like assign. I'm going to assign a value with some string value, and I'm going to save it, Control plus S. Then string is properly working with this user input like this. 46 assign means string can concatenate. In programming language we can say it as a concatenation, means plus symbol is working like joining two strings into a variable. I'm assigning a variable a that can store as a user input plus and some other values like assign. That's it. And if we can change it like in first time, we can add values like this. We are forcefully telling into like this, user input is changing into a integer value, means those type of users that can assign some mathematical variable integers variable values that can convert it into a integer, and we can then add it as it is, like asking terminal is asking for some values, like I am going to say give it 48, and 48 plus 84 is showing some value 132, means a is assigning a value of 132. And yeah, you are done. You are done like user input and integer, convert it into an integer, then you can multiply it and additioning it or something like that. If you are not doing like this into assigning some value variable, you can do like this. You can directly print some values like mathematical values. This can also works, means 48 plus 82 is properly working, means a is no need to assign a variable is no need to assign into some mathematical calculation. We can print as it is. It is a better way to assign a value into a variable. It is not the good practice for programmers to assign not assigning a value into a variable. We are done here. Thank you again for with me, and hopefully you learn lots of things with Python interpreter works, how they are working, how they are converting codes into a user understandable languages. We are converting some integer values into and some addition values, some doing string addition like concatenation. We are done with that. What is values, what is types, lots of things in this video. And now I am ending up my video here. Hopefully you guys like that. Thank you for with me, and I'm going to see you next video.